Good. All right, good evening, everyone. Thanks for taking time out of your evening to come out tonight for the fiscal 18 budget presentation. Start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So the vision statement behind our budget is that Ocean Pines will be a premier resort community offering exceptional value and quality of life to property owners who have diverse age, economic status, and interests. Our budget breakdown for this year, the highlights. We've managed to keep the reserve balance within 5% of the current fiscal year end. This is while undertaking several large projects for the community. As you know, we're in the midst of upgrading our golf club. We are approximately a third of the way through the renovations of the first floor of the club. We're anticipating completion of the first floor with full renovation by late March. Going into the next budget year, we're going to complete the renovations of that building to include the second floor with upgraded meeting rooms, banquet space, bar, and kitchen. We are also, with that, freeing up space in the administrative building where we will be able to expand the police department and reconfigure our office space in there to allow for more space for public safety, approximately 3 times the space that they have now. That will improve the safety of our officers and their ability to serve us and the community. The other project that's smaller but also significant going into next year is the addition to the sports court pool. We're proposing a 24 by 80 addition to that building to allow for increased programs at the sports court pool. That will allow for additional exercise classes. This year, the board had approved the addition of exercise bikes, water bikes. That has been a very successful program. It's sold out every single time it's been offered. The bikes have actually fully paid for themselves with the revenue from the program. Going into the next year, they're adding additional equipment. So we're running the areas to put the equipment in, actually offer those programs. Additionally, Colby is trying to introduce a after-school program and childcare through the aquatics department. She has experimented through the winter here, and both for Martin Luther King Day in January and then President's Day today, Colby had full camp days in there, and those programs were sold out. The availability they had within the current space. If we want to go into aftercare,
a storage area.
No, just pushing the building out so we have more space inside of it. Because if you're on the far end of the building, and actually on the side closest to Capitol Road, there's building is within a couple feet of the edge of the pool. So there's no real room to put the equipment, the bikes, and as we're bringing in mats and other equipment in there, there's just not room in the space.
Not full cover structure, build front.
No, the pool cover,
Extend the pool
push
cover.
that out 24 feet. So on the back end of the building, that will give us space to house that dedicated room for aftercare and children's programs, and that's a requirement if we are going to have aftercare, provide that regular daycare on a daily basis. We have to have a space where the children can be contained and isolated from other programs if there's conflicting interest in the facility.
What's the cost?
That was $225,000. Yes. The administrative building is that was approximately $300,000.
Yes.
And the golf is just over $400,000 in the upgrades of that facility. The most important part from the board's perspective was that we're doing all this while keeping the assessments the same. The non-waterfront lots will be at $921 and waterfront lots at as far as our amenities in membership dues, the key differential going into this year's budget is proposed is that the associate membership class is disappearing on a amenity by amenity basis. The proposed budget encompasses creating a associate member of the entire association that will be charged a $250 assessment per household, and it would allow the non-resident parties to purchase within their membership base and take advantage of our amenities through that one-time annual charge versus on an amenity by amenity basis. On the annual basis, that's really great on our memberships. There's a smaller class out in there which helps out at our beach club. Our beach club is on a club-only liquor license, and that means that only members of the association can buy alcohol there. We're making some other changes in the beach club, and this associate membership allows us to better utilize that facility and accommodate guests that come in by giving them a means to become members of the association and participate in activities there. For the core amenities, our aquatics memberships, the prices are staying the same. The only differential will be for those associates, which they would be paying the $250 overall Ocean Pines buy-in, and then be buying memberships and aquatics at the traditional resident rate. On our racket sports, the fees for tennis have been lowered by about 20%. Pickleball is lowered by 30%. The platform is staying the same. In golf, the overall fee structure is lowered by approximately 10%. So we feel we presented a budget where we're providing a lot of benefit for use in our amenities and providing the best value as compared to competing facilities to our members.
Are you looking for questions as we go? What would you prefer?
I'm flexible.
Okay, thank you. I had a question for the $250 associate membership fee, which I think is a great idea. But have we done any running of the numbers to see if, in fact, associate members or individual amenities have membership only to 1 minute? As an example, I know several people who are associate members of Platform Tennis, or Platform, whatever it's called. Now, that's all they do. So, the fact of the $250 versus the increase in associate membership for Platform would be quite a bit. Now, if they had a number of different amenities they join, it becomes less of an issue. So I don't know how many people we will sort of drive away.
When we looked at the numbers, it was less than 70 across all. And what we tried to do was bring a balance in so that if outsiders are taking advantage of our amenities, which no matter how you look at the whole association supports, we were getting those outside parties to buy in and contribute to the bottom line of the association.
These are previously
As proposed, it's 53 a unit on the $200, so $53 out of the $200 would go to aquatics because that would be tied to the beach club pool membership for the family unit attached to that permit. So if you buy the permit, you and the members of your household would have a pool membership to that pool. But your guest, like every other pool, would be paying the guest fees for utilization.
by a standalone park.
The standalone parking permit includes the family membership to the beach club pool.
So that's now included. That's new, right?
Before it was open passes. Now the passes are restricted to the owner of the permit for the pool access only.
Go back to one of the other slides. Why are we lowering golf 10%, tennis 20%? We could explain the business reason.
Across many of our amenities, we have a trend of decreasing usage and decreasing membership. And that's across all racket sports and golf.
Not true.
That is true. The memberships for pickleball have gone down for 3 years in a row. The goal in bringing the memberships to a more reasonable level was to increase resident participation in purchasing the memberships to get more regular users within their amenities. Across all of them, the board spent a lot of time looking at where neighboring facilities were priced. The board felt that our golf membership in particular was priced much higher than competing facilities, and felt the need to bring that membership down to reverse the trends in membership, to start bringing membership back up and increase resident participation.
Why is the full pass? Why are they being essentially? My wife and I live in a family lot, so cost here.
There,
Passes been for a long time.
and there's been a trend of abuse on those passes where they're across realtors and landlords. They're given out to other people coming in. You can go down VRBO, HomeAway, Craigslist, all the rental agencies. Other people are charging for weekly use of our passes, and that's we have a huge problem. Anyone that has a pass knows we sell 2,500 passes and we have 230 parking spots. So in some way, we have to curtail the abuse of the passes and make sure that they provide a true benefit to our residents. And that's what the board is trying to do. And there's not a easy solution without changing things. And with
It costs permanent residents
but it's all
money every week. Everything else is going down. Saying, but we're going to penalize permanent residents.
the permanent residents would still have full use of the facility. It's the non-residents, it's guests, renters that are.
Oh, man. Why don't we solve the abuse problem instead of penalizing?
Well, that's the struggle the board's facing with, and I know there's been still further discussion between the board members, and I believe it's going to be discussed further at our meeting on Saturday before final approval. But there needs to be something to mitigate the abuse from non-residents of a system that's out there, and to make sure that people that are paying have a parking spot and have a facility that they can use. Because at the end of the day, we are the ones that are subsidized, and that's what it's supposed to be for. It's supposed to be for us, not for outsiders coming in.
I agree with him also. It's the retired couple. My husband and I don't school technically, but when the grandchildren, like you're saying, come, it's going to be a double whammy. Is there a way that we can put our grandchildren's pictures on, if you insist on the system of pictures, put their picture on, so we have access to them instead of every time they're paid for them? I mean, I understand the problem you're having with realtors and people rent out their properties, and
Yes.
they should be assessed for new people coming in every week. But I agree with him that the retired couple
Yeah.
who just have their grandchildren giving us a double whammy, charging extra park and taking away our parking passes.
I understand, and I know the board does hear that concern, and like I said, the board is working for some solution with the passes to accommodate that. But I can't, if I'm speaking on anything, it's going to be a matter of my opinion, and I have what the board had agreed to prior at this point, and then I know, like I said, it will be a discussion on Saturday at the board.
What time?
Well, for a solution to that, with our board resolution, why not just make the board resolution include the fact that with full parking purchase, get a family membership. That family membership includes people who live here, their children, and their parents. And I think that is all.
Yes, it would.
Yeah, I agree.
Yes, ma'am.
Have photo ID, that bathroom.
There's no issue on there's no issue on the bathrooms or the bar. as long as they have an associated ID to be on the property.
So if we don't go.
But as long as they have your card, if they show up with just a parking permit and nothing else, then the staff has an obligation to check for ID because we're a club-based facility. But as long as they have some Ocean Pines associated ID to show, then there's no issue. Yes, ma'am.
Can you tell me why pickleball players are charged to play indoors?
Because of the cost to operate the facility.
And who else pays a fee to play after if they join something else, are they charged using the facility?
The pickleball fee is associated with the outdoor facility, and indoor use, everyone else pays to use indoor. It's been discussed multiple times. And
Oh, I'm sorry, I haven't been here, so that's why I'm asking the question.
yes, there is no other amenity sport that uses the indoor facility. Yes.
Yeah, I just have a question. When you said the pickballs were outside, but the amenity itself, the brochure that Ocean Pines put out says your amenity fee will cover inside and outside. And it's been that way since we've been amenity.
Well, and that was until you had dedicated courts, which we just spent over $30,000.
That's correct. But yet we're the one racket sport that is in the black the past 3 years at 21,000. And you made the comment, we're only 1% of the population, so you've got to kind of go things back and forth.
That's because all the cost of being indoor.
I may finish. And yet another amenity that I think is probably about 1% of the population is acceptable to say that, well, we project a $90,000 loss this year, but that's acceptable. But we're in the black, and now you're going to charge us more, so that in essence, what one of your board members said in reference to a sweet lady that wrote you, expressed her concern, well, if you don't like it, you can go elsewhere. That goes against everything that you showed in your very first slide about Ocean Pines and what the Ocean Pines vision is.
The deviations to the budget, on the operating budget, the significant changes to the budget this year associated with payroll. The board previously approved 4 additional positions for Public Works. They approved 1 additional facilities position. Additionally, with the deviations in operations at both the Beach Club and the Mumford's Landing facility, there are additional positions to accommodate for additional services provided there. Outside of those additional positions, we are dealing with the effects of minimum wage law and the Affordable Care Act. In minimum wage, there's been a 4-year trend of increased wages. It started with January 2015 at $7.25 an hour, and it's moving through July of 2018 to $10.10 an hour. In this current budget year, from May 1st of 2017 to April 30th of 2018, we have to factor in the $9.25 an hour minimum wage that will go into effect July 1st. This impacts almost all of our seasonal workforce, from our camp counselors to wait staff to lifeguards. Our core amenities run off of low wage earners, and the minimum wage directly takes all of those up by 50 cents an hour.
Maryland State Court.
Yes, that is Maryland. Additionally, we are dealing with the impacts of the Affordable Care Act. The Affordable Care Act had some provisions that the board preemptively made changes on because we were told they were going into effect December 1st, and at the 11th hour, those did not, but we had already adjusted our operations to account for the overtime changes in the Affordable Care Act. Additionally, the health insurance requirements and the penalties imposed on them for workers over 1,560 hours reflect into the health care costs that we're forced to provide for many of our full-time employees, and we have over 8. In our food and beverage budget, at Mumford's Landing, there is a significant deviation to the budget, both in expenses and in revenues. For believe most of you are aware, we've gone through a lot of significant changes at Mumford's Landing recently. We are now running a full 5-day-a-week operation, which we will be keeping through the off-season. We're open Wednesday through Sunday. We'll be moving to a 7-day-a-week operation in May. With this from previous operations and budget years, we are now running every night until midnight. We, in December, launched Tuffy's Tavern, which we're offering carry-out service in, and that is now our service bar to help with our restaurant operations and improve the customer experience. And we had several other upgrades to the facilities, and there are some that are proposed in this budget. With all of the additional hours, additional staffing, and services provided, we fully anticipate an increase in revenues, and with those additional services are increased expenses. At the Beach Club, we are also overhauling the operations there. This summer, we will be expanding the season to start earlier in May. The anticipated opening of the Beach Club for food and beverage service would be Mother's Day. We're anticipating a Mother's Day brunch on the beach, provided our construction inside maintains its current schedule. We will be running the weekends in May on the shoulder season with 7-day-a-week operation beginning on Memorial Day weekend. That will continue through Labor Day, and going into the far end of the shoulder season, we will continue operations there through Columbus Day for weekend service. During the week in the summer, we will be staying open until 10 p.m., providing light dinner service. These changes will incur additional expenses, but also additional revenue. And there's a significant deviation in revenues posted because of that.
Question,
Yes.
is that going to conflict with our rental parking area at the Beach Club to Secrets in the summer?
No. There's not a conflict there.
They do not rent our entire lot. They
No.
rent approximately 20%.
They have a shared usage of the lot.
But they will still have the use of it.
Yes, and there is a benefit to us because they will still be providing security there even during our hours of operation.
You didn't mention it, but the Ocean City Marlin Club actually operates on the exact same license that Beach Club does in terms of liquor.
Yes.
What are your plans to sell associate memberships? They sell them for like $100, $150. I asked the people at the liquor license people, what's the minimum you could charge and still seem reasonable? Have you given any consideration of what charge?
We were projecting a $10 weekly membership. Yeah, a $10 weekly membership that would be purchased and a temporary ID provided at the Beach Club itself that then would allow outside parties and guests to become members of the association.
I hope you'll promote that because I've often said that Beach Club is a gold mine. We can't find a ticket. So,
Well, we're hoping to find it this summer.
hope you do.
Yes, sir.
Why not a daily? You got weekly fees, why not a daily fee? I don't know, be $2.
We need to have a reasonable enough number and post it as a reasonable membership to the association, so we don't create any conflict with the liquor board. I mean, it's really all around our liquor license and making sure we're staying compliant as a true club. And the daily membership smells more like a surcharge on the alcohol. We can't do that.
Texas did that for decades until they changed their law.
Yeah.
All right, fine. And/or we change the liquor license so you don't have to have a member.
No, we cannot because of the zoning. We're in a residentially zoned district. We were grandfathered in because the building has been there for so long. It's possible one day we'd be able to get a zoning change on the building, at which point the liquor license could change. But as it stands today, the only standalone food and beverage operation with a full liquor license actually has to be in a hotel or other lodging facility because of the side of the street that we're on.
We could build the second floor of the Beach Club and run out of time.
That's not in this year's budget. So for this year, we're sticking with the associate members. So this budget reflects a continuation of our efforts to move our community forward and provide our membership quality services and amenities they expect and deserve. And that is the summation of budget.
That's it?
That's it.
You could.
That's interesting.
I have a question.
Sure.
As presented here, the assessment for the, more correct, the annual charge is remaining the same, both waterfront and non.
That's correct.
So the assessment is staying the same, but I think you said our reserves are,
Our reserves are staying within 5%. We're going to end
reserves
this.
are staying within 5%. So last year and for the past 5 years or so, we've been collecting approximately $150 going into reserves. So this year, if it's staying the same, the reserves are only staying within 5% of the current total license. What happened to that other $150? Now, you said some changes, but it seems to me that we are increasing labor substantially, and labor will never disappear. I mean, we rationalize all, but if we add 7, 10 new people, they'll be here forever. Be funding. So what we're doing is taking what money that might have gone into reserves, and we're taking it to increase operation. I haven't really looked that closely at the budget, but I have a hard time rationalizing. Read the newspapers that one of the reasons is that we want to do more homes that are in bad shape.
Not homes. On our own property that's in bad shape.
I thought they were also quoted as saying, if I'm not, correct me.
I mean, it can come work on my house. It needs a lot of work, but that's
It's supposed to maintain decrepit homes in Ocean.
that was never in the budget.
Okay. Well, that's fine. So then we have not provided for maintaining, maintenance homes that are falling apart in Ocean in the budget.
Well, I mean, that is a function of Public Works, and the board's authorized almost a dozen, if I'm not mistaken.
But
Been quite a number that
I
we've
would
sent
say
Public
this.
Works on to clean up this
I would
year.
say, and I guess you could call me someone who questions things.
Really?
So 4 years ago, 4 years ago, the general manager at the time proposed hiring 8 full-time people to do nothing but maintain the ditches in Ocean Pond. That's their sole objective. And the board of directors, in its infinite wisdom, says, we're not going to give you 8, we'll give you 4. Now, does anybody in Ocean Pond think these ditches are in better shape today than they were 3 or 4 years ago? I suspect that we do not have 4 full-time people doing
We
nothing
do.
but working ditches.
We do have 4 full-time people working on ditches. Yes.
Well, you better get about a dozen.
And they're all busy at the golf club.
I guess the point I'm getting at is that operations are going up, reserves are going down, the assessment's staying the same, but only because we've decided not to fund the $150. We're taking $150 or so from reserves, give or take, and we're saying we're going to spend it now on operations. And the operations will never, whatever we're hiring. And I'm not so sure our public people should start.
They're doing a whole
That's
lot
an issue for the
better.
board to decide. Anyway,
They're
that's,
doing a whole lot better on the construction than our contractors have been.
well, I don't know. 'Cause I don't,
Well, the projects are getting
there's
done.
nothing compared to it. We haven't got bids on things. We do things with our own people. For example, there were dozens of people from Public Works working on the yacht club construction for the. I have no idea whether that was more efficient, less costly than going outside. I don't think anybody in Ocean Pines did it. We just did it. Now, I'm dubious.
Yes.
In the beginning, you talked about some expansion of the sports pool,
Yes.
but you also talked about spending to have an area for childcare.
In that 24 by 80 addition, part of that addition would be, there would be a room inside in that addition.
My question is, what kind of childcare? Or is Ocean Pines not going to go into childcare business?
It would be for aftercare for residents to allow their kids to participate in their aquatics activities as a paid service in addition to their,
Okay, the same way they have parties and full
Exactly.
things and everything, you know.
Exactly.
Not childcare.
no,
Okay, because I'm doing the big, not childcare business, so good.
thank you all very much.
Thank you for clarifying. And what time is the meeting on Saturday? And they said
10 a.m.? Yes, this Saturday at 10 a.m.
20 years I've lived.